this is it, Goo. This is it. And we played with something yesterday. Want to get back into it today. And you don't have to go with these two guys. You can open it up wherever you want. It can be these two guys. It can be somebody else. Really, between the Warriors and the Niners, who is the most poised for a bounce back season?
Wow.
So really the two I focused on, or have been focusing on, is Debo versus Klay. And we know Klay had the highest scoring month of his career last season.
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
But all we're going to remember is the Brick City, shout out Tyga, in L.A. against the Lakers.
Curry was off that series too.
But Goo.
I know. There was like 5. There was a sequence where there was like 5, 6 field goal attempts.
Steph Curry, the summer of Steph continues, and Steph is in everybody's top 5. Everybody's top 5. So if you're Klay Thompson,
I know where you're going.
If you're Draymond Green, you're thinking, hey, I just got to do my part, and we'll be there. If I'm Chris Paul, I just got to do my part, and we'll be there. Andrew Wiggins, I got to maybe do a little bit more than I got to do my part, which is what I did in 2022.
And not miss any sabbatical, hopefully.
You can't miss as much time. So if it's between Debo and Klay Thompson, who is more poised for a breakout season? Debo's looking lean. Klay is doing off-season summer work, which he did not do last season. So who is more poised? I would say Klay. My guess, I would go with Klay just because I know Phil Mike's probably still listening. There is still a Christian McCaffrey back there.
Okay.
And the bottom line is just how the offense is currently working. I think Debo will bounce back. I think Debo will have a great season, but I think the Splash Brothers will reunite. The Splash Brothers will again get into those conversations of being an elite duo, because it's disrespectful in a way to not have them there. But if you look at the best right now and you look at the other names on that list, and you got a KD and Devin Booker and the guy, and they had Kyrie and Luka, and it's not about what have you done.
I love that tandem. I'll watch Maverick games.
I'm
a Kyrie fan.
They both bug me, but I'll watch.
Got to give real quick. Luka's lost some weight.
Okay, are we doing
what you're
this
saying
again?
Because he's still young.
Luka's lost some weight, and Ben Simmons can shoot a 3 now. That's every summer, Goo.
Well, I ain't seen Ben hit a 3, but that's good.
That's every summer.
Yeah,
it's every summer.
Yeah.
So who are you going with?
I'm gonna go Klay, and the reason I'm going Klay is just what you said. From a physical standpoint, Debo can tell us everything he wants to, but you'll always be a stud, even on your worst day. Mm-hmm. But we can't ignore the rat on the table brought to you by Atco Pest Control, which was Klay Thompson's last year offseason, basically not picking up a ball. Mm-hmm. And now we see, Klay in the lab, as we like to say, 10-2. So it's Klay Thompson. And you know what? Another rat on the table, Alan, is they need it from him to get back to the title. Before it was like, okay, we got Wiggins taking off, this and that, Poole. They need Klay Thompson to be what he used to be. Now, but I still, Steiny's on my mind. The 40% from 3 damn near is what he does for his whole career, but it's consistency and how consistent you are. But I'm excited for Klay. We'll see.
Well, it's got to be Klay, because Klay elevating his game back. And let's not forget Klay, the Charles Barkley thing threw him for a loop to start this season.
No doubt.
I don't even think he was necessarily terrible what Charles Barkley said. It just sometimes something hits you in your feels.
He was in his own head. He told us that.
Right. Sometimes things hit you in your feels, but Klay's been very open.
Yeah.
We talked multiple times about sports psychology. Klay's been very open about the struggles that he's gone through.
I should have never even put up the 4 against Denver. I never put up the 4.
That. So we're seeing growth.
Okay.
We're seeing Klay with the growth. We're seeing, Jordan Poole is no longer going to be a scapegoat. He's off in Washington doing his thing. Can't wait to go to that. I'm gonna slide to that game, by the way.
My boy
I gotta slide to that game.
And I've seen the little 2K me where he's calling Draymond. That's like, pretty good.
Come get this work. So it seems like the Warriors as a whole are focused. They're ready to rock and roll. We had Mike Dunleavy Mike Dunleavy Jr. on late last week, and he was talking about how it does seem like they have more of a 2022 type focus.
They're connected. That was the word, connection.
They're connected. They're all on the same page. I think Klay knows. You see him in those workouts. He's not messing around. Right. He jumped off the rocks in Greece. He did a lot of that early.
I didn't like that.
Well, it was a little scary, a little dicey there. But now he's ready to go. Debo, I think it's a really close. I think you could flip a coin with these guys, because I think that Kyle Shanahan also knows who Debo is. And if you can look at it a couple ways, Goo, you can look at it and say, well, Debo, based on what he did the 2 years ago to last year, he didn't get as many touches, which is good.
Okay.
So now you got Debo running with the vengeance because you weren't putting on the same miles as you were the last couple of years when you didn't have McCaffrey. So now you can, when you open that cage,
the Rari is ready to run.
Let the pit bull out.
Yeah.
He's ready to rock and roll. So I think it's going to be very close. I would give the edge to Klay because Klay is more needed on the Warriors.
And that was all I was going to do as we come up against break. Allen, I was going to say, let's just say Debo had a pedestrian year. Not bad. Yeah. That Niner machine is still gonna go. This Warrior thing, it is imperative that Klay Thompson is just stronger at his game. Forget the defense, because he'll probably never be the defender. But, hey, it was good enough to get them to the semifinals.
Right.
And I just hate, they went up against a team that's longer than them. But Klay Thompson, like you said, is needed for them to get back to the mountaintop.
Yeah, they got to get back. And I think they will, Goo. I think they'll be in the conversation. My question is, if the Suns put it together, what are we talking about?
And no, what are we talking about with Denver? Who do the Warriors have to guard Gordon?
Yeah.
Who do they got to guard Murray? Who do they got to guard Jokic? And you're right, Phoenix is right underneath that. Like the Lakers.
No.
What do you mean no?
I'm not putting the
Jackson
Lakers.
Hayes?
I'm not saying the Nuggets, the Suns.
What are you?
I'm saying.
I'm being real. I'm not a Laker fan.
I'm dropping a tier down for the Lakers, for the worry meter. I am more worried about.
But they ended your season. And you haven't gotten any taller.
But the Warriors were a mess. They were a mess.
Right. I hear you.
And now they look.
I'll buy that.
I don't know if the Warriors, and we're going to talk here in the 1 o'clock hour about where the Warriors will end, how this story ends. I have no clue if the Warriors will win another one. What I do know is if they don't win, it'll be just because of Father Time and just other teams just elevating. It won't be because of this past year with drama and a lot of different things. It's just going to be,
which is refreshing.
These teams are just better than you. But when you pay Draymond and you're going to pay Klay, very similar to what we talked about with Brock. And I'm going to tease it.
Okay.
The same comparisons with Brock Purdy and no longer talking about Mr. Irrelevant is the same way we have to talk about the Warriors and not bringing up their age if they're going to continue to get paid.